Okay, I'm gonna start by thank you everybody of you for allow us to do this presentation from the center to the teachers to the students. And today's presentation is about Canada Day celebration and the multicultural aspects that Canada has. The speakers are going to be Corpo Nidia Gelbes, Captain Rey Garcia Salas, and possibly later on, Captain Milton Hoyos is gonna join, and Sergeant Guillermo Garza Risueño. Next, please. Those are the references to the federal and the others. Next, please. Okay, what is today's aim? Is to raise cultural awareness among people with different background to understand each other. What is our mission? To showcase the richness and vitality of Latin American culture and heritage, while also highlighting the contributions that the Latin American community has made to Canada positively, leveraging Canada's diversity, inclusion, and gender equality, and promoting a culture of leadership, respect, and honor. What is our motto? Our motto, we took it from the secret book, Popol Vuh. This is a Mayan book from part 4, chapter 2. Arise, all of you, call everyone. Let be not one group, nor two groups among us who remain behind the others. That means that we have to work together as a unit for this prosperous country. Next, please. This is today's agenda. Next, please. Why do we celebrate Canada Day? Technically, Canada was born that day of 1st July 1867 under the Constitution Act. It was united into a single dominion. And we have to realize that the indigenous people were already for thousands of years in these lands. Under the act, the country was divided into Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. 1 year later, Governor General Lord Monck signed a proclamation that requested all the Queen's subjects across Canada, the holiday should be duly celebrated on this date. Next, please. This map is to show how was Canada before, with those provinces of Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. And the rest, you could see that there was almost very few people living there. Next, please. In the context of why do we celebrate Canada Day? We have different celebrations in different parts of the country. such as fireworks that you are seeing in different areas that begin in 1981. The Canada celebrations could be in the Canada celebration. You can have barbecues, different activities, outdoor concerts, and parades. In many restaurants, you can have red and white bagels for that day, Nanaimo bar popsicles, and maple chilled drinks with the colors of the Canadian flag. Some decorated their houses with flags and colored Christmas lights. Our own memorable first Canada Day celebrations is gonna recounted by Corpo Nidia Gelbes. What is your own memorable first day Canada celebration, Nidia?
The most memorable one was when I went to Ottawa, and we got to see all the fireworks, and there was carnivals on the street. There was lots of I went with my 3 daughters, and it was beautiful. Like everybody was just united and happy, and it was such a big crowd that you were walking as one, like through the streets after the fireworks, and it was a beautiful day. It was very hot, but every store that was open was about celebrating Canada.
Perfect. Next, please. You notice, everybody, I am talking very slow in order for the students to understand me, and I'm gonna continue talking slowly in that tone. Now, Canada. Why is very important to celebrate Canada Day? Because Canada is one of the best countries in the world. In my case, in my point of view, in my humble point of view, is the best country in the world. Why? Because the quality of life. We have, in the context of food, we have a really good system for housing, education, health, job security.
Sorry, Captain Reyes, I don't think we can hear you anymore.
Religious freedom. We have, in the context of social justice, diversity, inclusion, and gender equality. Like, as an example, we have the Latin American Heritage Month celebration every October, and we have more celebrations. And in this slide, we have women are viewed as effective leaders. This is very important term to see that women can lead groups, can lead organizations, and so on.
I'm so sorry, Captain. I think there's an issue with your
that term, that sentence. Why it's very important to consider women as effective leaders. Nidia, can you expand?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question because I think we lost the audio for a little bit.
Okay. I would like you to get a deeper explanation of for you why it's important that women are viewed as effective leaders in Canada?
Okay, for me, it was very important to have the opportunity to be or to view women as effective leaders because I'm raising 3 daughters, and I feel that having the opportunity to just be independent and have the same rights as men and everybody else in this country, it, it's it's very inspirational to just have that freedom to go as far, to go as like to do all the jobs that you want to do without any limitations. And I also feel that it's very empowering and it gives women strength to be viewed as equals against every gender. Like, I think that's my.
Thank you. Next slide, please. When we're talking about Canadian cultural values and beliefs, we need to take in account the following. Egalitarism. In an egalitarian society, people are deemed equal. This is why the hierarchy is not very evident. Everyone is deserving of equal rights and opportunities in this society, regardless of gender, age, race, or beliefs. And this is very deep in the Canadian culture and beliefs. Now, the informality term, as you know, most Canadians are casual in dress and language. You can notice that when you are going to different places, but when you are going to, let's say, a bank, a law office, or even to the national defense, everybody is not dressing casual. Another term that is very important is the order and space. Canadians value order and preserving their personal space, as you know. They also value personal privacy. It will be wise to keep away from discussions of salary, family life, weight, religion, and other personal topics. Person has rights over his or her own property. We have to take that in account. So make sure to ask permission before using anything that is not yours. Individualistic yet community-oriented. We know that despite being individualistic in terms of personal values, such as guarding personal space, contributing to the betterment of the community is a high priority. Canadians get involved by volunteering, donating, and by generally maintaining pride and affinity to their community. That's why you can see different community centers everywhere, and it's good for the country. The other term that is very, very important is the punctuality. Being on time is highly valued in Canada. We have to take that very seriously. Punctuality is a sign of respect. Everyone is expected to arrive on time, or at least 5 to 10 minutes earlier. Any meeting that you have to be 5 to 10 minutes or even 30 minutes early. Respect. This trait often manifests itself through politeness, punctuality, tolerance, and social order. have to respect each other. It's very important. And we don't have to talk about persons' looks, beliefs, age, gender, and status in life because of that respect. Multiculturalism and diversity. As you know, Canada began developing into a strong nation by welcoming immigrants. In 1971, Canada became the first country in the world to adopt multiculturalism as an official policy. We're very strong on that aspect. Political correctness. Political correctness is refraining from saying or doing things that include insult or marginalize groups of people. Now, in terms of regionalism, as you know, most Canadians are said to have an affinity to their province or region, sometimes more than their country. In that context, we have that the Atlantic provinces are somewhat reserved and old-fashioned. Ontario is business-like and conservative. People in Western Canada, like Alberta, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, are seen as open and friendly. British Columbia is unconventional and progressive. Quebec is distinct and autonomous. And the North, like Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, has a strong pioneering spirit. The other aspect is the love for the environment. For Canadians to maintain their parks and open spaces is very important, and to adopt and follow environmental friendly policies. That's why you can see open spaces and parks everywhere. Now, Nidia, can you talk about a little bit more about the punctuality, multiculturalism?
The punctuality, I think that the Canadian Forces, that's the biggest thing. Arriving on time is like you're already late. I think that's what I learned too in the Canadian Forces. And the Canadians, yes, I feel that it's a lack of respect if you are late because you did not value the other person's time. And it's not a good show of faith when you don't show up with enough time and preparation for even if it's just a friendly gathering or an appointment, a job interview. It's very important. The punctuality, the multiculturalism and diversity. It is, Canada is a land of immigrants. And I think this is what gives Canada the strength and also the respect for the diversity. I think that Canada is one of the countries that most values the diversity, and they love learning about other people's cultures, and they're always open to learn, to try the foods, to try the dances, and I feel that this also allows immigrants to embrace their roots and continue their cultures while also being involved positively in the community and giving back to Canada, like enriching Canada with your own culture, but also making Canada home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. I'm gonna give you the Latin American meaning because this is very important. You are gonna think why he is putting the Latin American meaning in the middle of the presentation. But you are gonna see why it is important, because a lot of people don't know the real meaning of being Latin American and everything that is involved in that context. And after the explanation, I'm gonna tell you why it's important. The meaning is those who maintain the Latin American culture today are seen as Latin American, even though their ancestors originated from other continents. Latin American includes the indigenous people of the Americas, from Mexico to Chile, as well as descendants of Europe, Africa, and Asia, who immigrated to these lands, communicated in Spanish, French, or Portuguese, and adopted the culture. Therefore, we are a mosaic of the diversity of the human race. We are an amalgamation of cultures and ethnicities. This meaning is going to help us to understand the other celebrations that Canada is having. Because in Latin American, you can find in certain areas people that their ancestors are coming from Africa and they are celebrating Black History Month. Some people are coming from Asia and they are celebrating Asian History Month. And some people are in some, like in Guatemala, Peru, and other countries, we have a high percentage of indigenous people, and that those indigenous people are related to with traditions, legends, history with the Canadian indigenous people. We have women and so on. Next, please. Now, because we have to reflect all the celebrations that are in the community or in the country inside of the D&D Canadian Forces. And we have the following celebrations. As I told you before, we are linked to the majority of all of them. Like a Black History Month is every February. And why is this celebration? Is to express all the contributions, to reflect all the contributions of the community that has ancestors from Africa that are acting.
I think there might be an issue with your internet, Captain.
In May, we have the International Women's Day. That is very important too, because we have to reflect what women did in history and what they are doing right now. All the contributions to this society in order for Canada to be a prosperous country. We have the Indigenous Awareness Week. This is the 4 days after Victoria Day. That is very important. As you know, the indigenous people in Canada were living here for thousands of years in these lands. International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia on May 17, because we have to respect each other. We have we have to communicate, to work as a unit. Pride Month is every June. The Latin American Heritage Month is October. Women's History Month, every October also. That is very important through history. What are the contributions of women in the society? And the International Day for the Persons with Disability on the 3rd of December. Now I would like to ask Corpo Nidia Gelbes to talk about the Latin American Heritage Month and the Women's History Month. In order for her to give us her point of view.
I think it's been very important to celebrate Latin American Heritage Month and also Women's History Month for me personally, because I feel that, yes, I'm always proud to be a woman. I'm always proud to be Latin American, but I also feel that just like working with Captain Rey Garcia Salas and Captain Milton Hoyos, I've learned a lot about the Latin American heritage and how positive, like the positive influence they have had for Canada and the Canadian Forces. And that just makes me even more proud to show others, like my coworkers and people outside of like the Canadian Forces, the positive impact that you can have as an immigrant to Canada, and also for women's history, the strength that women have to go against the odds and just do what's passionate for them, do like and conquer all their like fears. And I feel that this has been very empowering for me personally.
Thank you, Nidia. I'm not sure what's going on with Captain Reyes. I think it might be glitching again.
Yes.
I am here. It's probably the internet. Something wrong with the internet. Are you able to listen to me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you now. Maybe just if you find your internet gets a bit glitchy, or if you think you're freezing, maybe we can let Nidia take over for a little bit and switch off. I'm not too sure if that works, but that's what I'd recommend.
Okay. Now, can you go to the next slide? Okay. We're going to talk about the life of Latin Americans in the National Defense and Canadian Forces. What is being for us that adaptation to Canada, that adaptation to the military life as language, weather, culture, food, family, because as you know, as an immigrants, we are coming from different parts of the world. We are living in different areas in the country, and we need to adapt to what Canada is producing, and Canada is what we have in the market in order for us to provide and for food, what is respecting the Canadian culture, but at the same time having our Latin American, in our case, background is very Latin American background. We need to love this country for what the country is giving us. And in retribution, we need to continue contributing positively to this society. In the adaptation to the military life, as you know, as a military person or members, we are moving from one place to another one, and we need to adapt to different bases. But because where we are coming from is multicultural also, it is easier for us to adapt to new challenges. Our families, they need to be our family members, they need to adapt to this situation also. But the Canadian forces are there for us with different programs, helping us, helping our dependents in different ways to in getting a house, with the transportation, helping us through military center to how we can get information about the schools and so on. I'm gonna leave Corpo Nidia Gelbes to talk about the adaptation to Canada and the adaptation to military life.
I think that finding the balance between being between your own identity as an immigrant and also being part of a new country, that's going to be the key to being a part of the community that you're going to live in. But also I think that since Canada has been a pioneer for immigration for many years, they have several centers and groups that you can reach out to. I would recommend reaching out to as much groups as you can. Also trying to keep your language, your culture while adapting to the Canadian culture. That's also such a good benefit to have because it'll just enrich your life positively. I think the positive part about being in Canada is that there are, like Captain said, that there is immigrants everywhere. So you will always have the opportunity to find somebody that speaks the same language as you. And when you're far from family and friends, I think that was the most helpful and positive point that I could find is that when I would find somebody that would speak Spanish, I would hold on to them. And we were friends. And I always joke about this because everybody's like, oh, I have a friend that's from Chile, and they think that we all know each other. But once you meet somebody that is Latin or that relates to your culture, you're just, you have that, that bond between you. And that's also very beneficial. I think that adaptation to military life, being an immigrant, was very helpful because you are used to packing up your home, your belongings, and starting from zero anywhere you go. And you look at it as a challenge, but not as a negative challenge. It's more of a positive, and always thinking, okay, I am going to come into this place and how can I leave it better for my life and also for the people around me. Being part of the community is also a good way. Like once you have found your balance, giving back to the people that are coming and will create a positive culture among immigrants as well. I think that's a good strength to show that we will come to Canada, we'll make it home, and we'll make it better than what we had, and also better for the people that are coming and the people that are around us. I think that's.
Next slide, please. Thank you, Nidia.
Thank you.
Since 2019, we are doing this national presentation of fitting into multicultural institution of the Canadian Armed Forces presentation. This presentation is about all the history about our events since 2010 until now. Last year, as I told you, I introduced for the first time the research that I am doing about the Latin Americans that came to Canada, joined the Canadian Armed Forces voluntarily, then participated with the Canadian Armed Forces, with the Canadian uniform, military uniform, participated in the First and Second World War for the freedom of Canada, Latin American, and the world. And what that is giving us, an identity, an historical identity, to know that our ancestors came to Canada and joined since the First World War. In that context, younger generations are gonna, when they know about that, they are gonna love more this country, and they are gonna continue contributing positively for this prosperous nation that we call Canada, our native land. Next, please. In conclusion, we as Latin Americans celebrate Canada Day as one proud nation. We cannot be divided, but we can work together and continue working together for this prosperous country. Corpo Nidia Gelbes, do you want to add more about this conclusion?
No, I think that you resumed it beautifully, and all I would say is that I'm definitely proud to be Canadian, and I feel that, like you said, Canada is one of the greatest countries to live in, and it is like, it's a benefit, it's a blessing to be here. And I feel that everybody, once you step onto Canada, everybody feels that. And I think just remembering that when days are hard and that you miss home, being homesick is part of being an immigrant, but also making your Canada home will be a benefit, because you'll have two homes, and that would be a great thing.
Thank you so much, Corpo Nidia Galvez.
Thank you, Captain.
That concludes our presentation, and if you have questions, we are here to answer them.
So thank you so much for the presentation. If you have questions, you can either turn on your mic or you can write them in the chat box. We'll give it a few minutes, but I just want to say thank you to Corporal Nadia for the amazing presentation, and to Captain Rey as well for the amazing presentation. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
I think somebody in the chat said, Ling said, I'm proud to be Canadian. Thank you. Somebody asked, Asma asked, how can I let my kids join the cadet program?
Okay, I have, my son is with the cadets, and he joined the Air Cadets, but there are Air Cadets, Navy Cadets, and Army Cadets. They can join at the age of 12, and this is a good opportunity because they are going to teach kids to respect members of the community. They are going to give them how they can proceed with the punctuality that is very important. They are going to give them the necessary military skills that are going to help them, not only with the cadets, but in the future also as a military or a civilian person. The program is very well done in the way that they can join at the age of 12 until they finish the high school. And depending of what kind of area they want to develop, they can join the Air Cadets, Navy Cadets, and Army Cadets. How they can see more information, they can go to the internet and search for cadets.ca. And there is a requirement, and there are some papers that they have to, that the parents, they have to provide in order for their kid to join or the daughter to join. And this is, as I told you, this is very a good opportunity for kids that is gonna give them the qualities and the skills to lead people. That is very important nowadays in this society.
Thank you. And Corporal Nadia also shared the link in the chat. So if you all want to take a look at that, or if any other parents are interested, you can also type that link out. So we'll just give it another minute or two, and then if we don't have any more questions, then we'll wrap it up. We'll wait a little and see if anybody has any more questions.
I would like to add a little bit more.
Yes, of course, go ahead.
Yes, in addition to the cadets, you can find programs for the reserve units in different parts of the country and the regular force. In the reserve, at the same time that you are studying in university or college, you can join the reserve to get some money. And again, you are gonna get those military skills that are gonna be good for you for life. All the training is a military training. It's very well done. All the technologies there, and you are gonna have a lot of networking. And now for the regular force, if you like the regular force, you can join also. And again, it's a good opportunity to get involved with trades that you are gonna get the latest technology, and you could be deployed to different countries, or even in Canada to different places. And you are gonna develop the skills that if you decide later on to be a civilian, you can use those skills. And if you decide to continue being in the military, they are gonna help you too. And there are different programs.
Thank you so much, Captain, and thank you, Corporal. There's also, Corporal Nadia also left a link in the chat box for those who want to know more information about the Canadian Forces, or if you want to know more information about joining the Canadian Forces. So please feel free to check that out. So I think we're going to conclude this. Thank you so much, Captain Rey Garcia Salas, and thank you so much, Corporal Nadia Jalvez, for this amazing presentation. I think you both did a great job at showing how the military reflects the Canadian diversity and multiculturalism, both through, you know, the members of the force and the values and all the things you stand for. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for taking the time to do this amazing presentation and informing a lot of newcomers more about the Canadian Armed Forces. So thank you so much. And I think everybody as well would probably want to give you a big thank you. So thank you so much for attending the session, and thank you to all the participants. And again, thank you again, a big thank you to the interpreters. We could not have any of these presentations without them. So thank you, and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.